Hi, everybody. Thank you, and welcome to another edition of But Is It Power Pop? I ain't going to lollygag around. I'm going to get started right away. We are going to start today with Duncan Reid. That's right, Duncan Reid, formerly of UK punk band The Boys. The Boys have reunited on occasion over the years, but the latest incarnation does not include Duncan Kid Reid. Instead, he's gone off solo, and boy, is his music delicious. He has a brand new album coming out in 2017, and right here I've got his first two. They are jam-packed solid. I'd say somewhere between the punk of the Boys and twee pop. You know, it's got that sweetness to it, but it's got that rough edge. There's also glam. There's Beach Boys influence. There's Beatles influence. It's really great. Duncan Reid, Little Big Head, is his first solo album, and his second one is with his backing band called the Big Heads, and it's called The Difficult Second Album, and both are actually really fabulous slices of wonderful pop. Duncan Reid, once again, I will recommend Duncan Reid highly. Oh, I cradle this at night. This is Shoes. That is right. This is a Shoes collection, but Shoes are one of the great American power pop bands. The significance of this 35 years, the definitive Shoes collection, 1977 to 2012, is the fact that it has probably the best liner notes. I mean, they're like Grammy worthy. Well, not exactly Grammy worthy. Well, they're written by me. So, yes, this booklet, liner notes, all that stuff, every word there was written by me, by hand. That's right, by hand. That is a fantastic collection, but you can't lose with any Shoes. Rhyme. Going on next to David Brookings and the Average Lookings. He is based in San Jose, California. This is great pop, very American. See, the thing about some power pop artists is they're melodic and they write great tunes, but they're not necessarily Beatlesque. And even though David himself filmed videos of 209 different Beatles songs, he's not Beatlesque. He seems to have his roots very much in America. He's not Americana, thank you. But this is a great record. You can catch an article on David Brookings, one of the Introducing the Band features over at discussionsmagazine.com. Coming up next, Jack Lee. Boy, this is awesome. This actually is both Jack Lee albums on one disc. Jack Lee, for anyone who doesn't know, was a member of the Nerves. He's the guy who wrote Hanging on the Telephone. The Nerves, short-lived but fantastic and influential power pop band, featured Jack Lee, Paul Collins, and Peter Case. That right there is enough to make you run to your computer or the local record store and buy this. This has pretty much all he's ever released, which is 2 albums worth of material. His first album, which I believe was called Jack Lee's Greatest Hits Volume 1, it actually had some Nerve songs, including Hanging on the Telephone. So if you want Hanging on the Telephone, it's going to be here. And there's a couple songs, I think it was Come Back and Stay. Come Back and Stay, and also Women off of this. Believe it or not, were recorded by Paul Young, the British blue-eyed soul singer. I don't know how he got a hold of them, and I don't know what inspired him to do it, but those tracks are on here too. Obviously, Jack's original versions, which are far more power pop than Paul Young. But that is a recommended one. And finally, it's a sealed copy, only because I have one in storage, but I wanted to make sure I had it in my collection. One of my favorite albums of the era, Great Buildings, came with a free crack in the case. I was very happy to get that. Actually, it wasn't free. I paid more because it came with another crack down here as well. But this is one of the finest albums of the era. guaranteed. It is so chock full of great songs that you will just drool. It is so wonderful. It came out in 81. Two of the guys, and these aren't guys, two of the guys in the band, Danny Wilde and Ian Ainsworth, were members of the quirky band The Quick, which was very much like early Sparks. They formed Great Buildings and became very power pop, just a ton of great tunes. Guitar player was Phil Solem. Later on, like a decade after Great Buildings broke up, which that's not Great Buildings, that's just a bunch of girls, but they're not pictured there. Maybe I'll open it so you can see Great Buildings. But about a decade after Great Buildings broke up, Danny Wilde and Phil Solem formed the Rembrandts, and they had a track came out in 91, I think, called Just the Way It Is, Baby, which is fantastic. Later on, they became famous for singing and co-writing the theme to Friends. So there's a picture of the band right there. That's the back album cover. Phil right here and Danny way over there looking at those girls who were on the cover. Let me see here. There we go. Now you can see that. But Great Buildings, certainly one of the most recommended power pop albums of the era. In my opinion, they're right up there with 2020, the Plimsolls, and the Knack, and all those fantastic bands that shaped the music that we love so much. I hope you run out and get that if you haven't heard it already, or at least check out, because usually on YouTube, I have a little playlist just down below that has at least a song or two by each of the bands. I want to end this episode of But Is It Power Pop with a couple shout outs. Number one, to my brother Mike, who always helps me create the lower thirds that come out and say my name, and with the and then the little emoji things that my Aunt Lori Cook creates. And then I want to thank all the people that watch the videos and comment on them, including the Oompa Roundabout over in Australia, MC Pop. His name is Matt, and he's always saying very nice things. And my buddy Matthew Street, thank you so much for always commenting. And he discovered some of my writing over at Discussions Magazine, and he was able to read some stuff. And I, you know what? I appreciate anybody that watches these videos. I appreciate that anybody that comments on them. I appreciate anybody that reads my stuff at discussionsmagazine.com. And I appreciate you for watching this right now. Thank you. Again, smell you later.